RDX podcast with the usual bunch of assholes, with one exception, of course.
What's going on?
Randall Thor here this time. We're going to get into some intros, of course, as we let people file in for obvious reasons. We got a bunch of great topics. We're going to get to them. Bear with us. Thank you guys for showing up. And I'm going to get to the intro. Shady, man. How you been, man? It's been a week since we've been on the show, man. How you been?
Oh, I'm not too bad myself, actually. I've been diving in and out of chat rooms, reading message boards, watching conferences over and over again. That's all I dream, man. I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a fucking nightmare, but I'm ready to go.
All right, well, that's either way. I mean, one of those things is probably good. Hey, Colt, how you been, bro?
Really good. Ready to talk about everything. Everything. Do it all. Everything.
I saw you stomping the shit out of a beaver in the middle of the road last night, so that was, I mean, that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that a little bit. Hey, Fonz, man, how you been?
I've been good, man. Got a lot of stuff going on at the house today. Had to switch around a couple of refrigerators and stuff because one went out. But who gives a shit about that? It's a gaming podcast, right? Let's go.
Well, I mean, if it's one of those fridges with a screen on it that Skyrim's coming to, then I don't know.
No, it's not one of those.
Yes.
Okay. Rand, man, thanks for joining us, bud.
Thanks for having me, dealer. And I've been kind of stuck on a loop watching your FedEx delivery simulator on that part where the baby goes, "Why'd you wake me up, bitch? What do you want, bitch?"
Yeah, I made that joke that night on the podcast before I released that video. I made that joke about that exact scene. I was like, let me put this in here and make the best out of it. So, you know, a lot of people check that video out. If you haven't checked out the Death Stranding parody video I did, check it out. I'll link it down below. I don't know. It's linked somewhere. Just check the channel. And, you know, we're waiting on D-Batch, of course, this fraud. He'll be here anytime.
I'm here.
Okay, D is here. What's going on, bro? Where you been?
Oh, man. I just moved to a new location, so I've been setting it up for like the last week and a half, and today was like crunch time. So, man, business calling, you know. What can I do, man?
Business calling. Well, you know, hey, you made it, bro, and that's all that matters. We got a lot of good subjects and stuff like that. But, of course, you guys now got to pay the bills real quick. And we got to give our RDX sponsors a shout-out real quick. We've got John Yoon. We got Mel S., Chief Exec. We got the Darj Knight. Shout-out to him. Early Menthol, Guillermo Calvillo, Lethal Pop-Up, and, of course, Biggie 2316. You guys are fucking awesome. Thanks for powering the show like you do. I didn't have the question up on the Patreon site today, so it was just everything was a clusterfuck. So I'll make it up to you next week. I'll get that up extra early and stuff, and we can get that stuff going. So in the meantime, guys, I want to do a recap of kind of some of the E3 controversies, right? Rand, I don't know if you've been around, right? You're like a little, you're always creeping around the shadows, checking out what's going on. A lot of people are arguing about E3, arguing about who won, how they won it, what they did to win it, and a lot of people didn't watch E3. They watched it with their TVs off, and they thought Sony won when it was obvious that Microsoft won. What did you think about the ignorance that was going around here in the last week?
Oh, geez, dealer, you give me a loaded question.
Oh, it's very loaded. Be careful.
Yeah, no. What am I going to do? How do I need to tiptoe around this landmine field?
It's not loaded. It's common sense. I mean, everyone knows. I mean, there's how many polls were there? Microsoft.
Okay, yeah. If you want to get into the polls, Jeff Keighley did one. The YouTube Gaming, they had a live one going on during the show. GameSpot.
Hey, you got all this stuff in your head right now. I want you remember where these polls were at, right? You remember who won each one of these polls. So
that's right. I did a video about it. Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
Xbox won them all.
Every single one of them.
Even on Reset Era, which is a forum predominantly pro-Sony. I'm not going to say they hate Xbox, but they're definitely pro-Sony. Even Xbox won there, which is, you know, never happened on NeoGAF. But the common sentiment is that Microsoft put on a better show, you know, did what they needed to do by announcing new studios, which shored up the biggest complaint people had about Xbox, which was their lack of first party. Mm-hmm. Added 5 new studios that are going to be creating new experiences and new IPs. You know, diversified the content lineup with more Japanese support, which is what people wanted. And I mean, that's pretty much it. It was a rock solid show from top to bottom, and they came to win, whereas like the other companies kind of were taking it easy. I thought Sony's show was saved by the exclusive games that they had, because in my opinion, nothing's going to be better than Last of Us 2 or, you know, FedEx Walking Simulator or Ghost of Tsushima. So, I mean, I think Sony showed the better exclusive games, which is why I have a PlayStation and why you have a PlayStation. and why Colt has the PlayStation. But I got the vibe from Sony that they were kind of just like, it's the end of the gen. We won. Wait. We're going to do whatever we want, you know?
Hold on. I got to cut you off. I apologize. But Colt, you have a PlayStation? You have a console? What?
Yeah. It's not imaginary PS4. It's actually a real one. Oh, in fact, people are giving me crap because I have it sitting underneath my Xbox One X. I've got these really cool spacers. So I have an inch of space in between because the PS4 gets hot on the bottom and the Xbox just gets hot on the back. So yeah, it's kind of a cool setup. And I wanted the PS4 to support 4K.
Look, I apologize. Mind blown though. You have a console. Wow. Okay, go ahead, Ray.
Oh man.
No, I mean, I think for the majority of people, Xbox put on a great show and they won E3. Now, what does that really mean? Nothing at the end of the day. You don't get a prize for it. This is that people kind of are looking a little bit differently at Xbox and the future of the brand. Because remember, dealer, we talked about this beforehand. How many videos did you see leading up to E3 saying that it was make or break for Xbox? Huh? How many of those?
About 6,800.
Yeah. And how many of those do you see after E3? None of them, because Xbox needed to do what, they did what they had to do. And
those same channels that made those videos, for the most part, they've never really been on to anything particularly early. They've never been really right about too much. So I don't think it was make or break. I feel like they showed, and that's the thing. What are you playing on your Xbox, huh? And I'm like, well, just think about it. Bear with me. Forza Horizon 4, that's the exclusive for this year. And they're like, well, you only got one exclusive, huh? And I'm like, well, Spider-Man, huh? Don't you only got one exclusive too, asshole? And then you might have seen more games, but none of those have dates, huh? So I'm just a little confused there. I think that most of us are going to be playing third parties, and that's every year. This is one of the most packed years there are. And since when does that render any box irrelevant? I think that's such ignorant thinking.
Dealer, I think the biggest thing, the takeaway I had from this, from most of those people who made videos like that, were people that were downplaying multiplats. And I'm not a guy to defend a console or whatnot, but multiplats are 90% of what we play year in, year out. And that's a fact. And people that downplay it, it's just funny to me. It's like, oh yeah, but all the X can do is multiplats better. Ha ha, you guys suck. It's like, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
The icing on the cake, though. I mean, the exclusives are the icing on the cake. And if your preferred console has exclusives, that's great. But for me, just the brand new games that I'm super interested in are God of War and Spider-Man. And I've got those games. I'm getting those day one. I got God of War already done. And we're all looking forward to Spider-Man.
Yeah. And really, I'm not trying to bore the audience to death here, right? We're just trying to cover these polls and stuff. And we realize you guys have heard about all the E3 news. We covered it to death. So I did want to double back on the polls, though, because a lot of people are in denial. Not sure how, but pretty much like Rand said, all the polls were in Xbox's favor. Not only that, the sites, IGN, were commending them on their incredible show. And even Jim Sterling, right? This chicken nugget eating motherfucker, gave it to Xbox.
Not only him, Colin Moriarty. Remember him, Mr. Sony himself said Xbox won. They won clearly if you watch his videos, and he's Mr. Sony with Greg Miller. So,
So I'm really confused. People are like, well, it's multiplat, it's third party. Well, I mean, did you not like Control? Did you not like seeing Resident Evil 2 remake there? Would Sony's conference have been better? Would Devil May Cry 5 there? Yes, absolutely, it would have. So how do they not matter? That's my thing. So at the end of the day, it's not a show about exclusives. It never has been. It's a show about games. It's built around games. So at the end of the day, undeniable. Xbox took it pretty handily.
They absolutely did. It was only the guys listening to their PlayStation tramp stamps when they look in the mirror that were voting Sony as the winner this year, I gotta say.
Tramp stamps.
But hey, either way, you know what? If you disagree, you disagree. Let us know why in the chat or the comment section if you're listening after the fact. Hey, Colt, did you know 22 million people played Forza last year?
I played Forza 22 million times.
Okay, well, this was confirmed on the Future of Racing panel with Dan Greenwalt. He confirmed that Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon, the Forza franchise, last year had 22 million unique players. Isn't that insane? Isn't that nuts, Rand, when you think about it?
Indeed it is. And then, you know what's even more nuts?
Like any publisher would kill for, I feel.
Yeah. Is how important Forza Horizon has been and how it's overtaken the primary franchise or the lead one. Because I think they also mentioned Forza Horizon 3 is above 9 million players now, or 9 million sales, or whatever it is. I'm not really sure.
9 million players, yeah.
Which is incredible for a racing game, because you don't really see those type of numbers at all. I mean, because there are not that many racing games. If it was really that easy, there'd be a lot of racing games. It's clearly not that easy.
Oh, yeah, they just said, "Oh my God, I'm done." Like they're after Payback, which by the way is complete trash. They just said, "No, we're not doing it this year. Not happening. We're not bringing them on. No way. No comprende."
And you just bought that Payback game, didn't you?
I did. I only paid $3 for it because I had $17 in Microsoft. They just keep sending me money, I guess. I don't know why, for pre-ordering or something. I don't know, buying games and pre-ordering. They keep sending me stuff. So I only paid $3 for it. But at the end of the day, 22 million players, with all the doom and gloom, I feel like people don't have a handle on just how successful and how active these communities are. That's a ridiculous amount of players, no matter how you want to try to spin it. So I don't know. I just figured I'd throw that out there. Anybody got an opinion on that real quick? I mean, that's nuts. 22 million players?
That's a little shocking to me, to be honest with you. As much as I know Forza is successful, like in the UK, and of course I love it. It's one of my favorite franchises. 22 million unique players. That's a good metric, man.
Yeah, to say the least.
But dealer, it's on the PC though.
Yeah, I'm sure only a couple 100,000 people on the PC were playing it.
Yeah, if you had to break it down to the PC, let's be honest, I would say at the most, maybe 20% of those players are from the PC.
Yeah. And like you said, that was confirmed by Dan Greenwald on the Future Racing panel with who was it, Graham Boyd and all them. So that was an interesting listen. I had a good time. Metro Exodus running native 4K on the Xbox One X. The developer says this is a testament to the console, proof that it is a beast, quote unquote. I don't know, Colt, did you expect to see native 4K on Metro? It looks insane.
Oh, I was hoping it would be, but I mean, that game has a lot of stuff going on. It's not really an open world game. I've played the Last Light, but I mean, it's going to be a really good looking game. But they're also, aren't they saying they haven't confirmed if they're going to get 60 frames in that game or a 60 frames mode, as they put it. So they haven't confirmed either or. That's kind of interesting too.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Right.
Going off of, the trends, you might not have it, but I mean, the game looks insane. Fonz, were you interested in Metro at all?
I don't know about shooting a bunch of giant evil capybaras again. No thanks.
Excuse me, sir?
Capybaras that you got to shoot in that game? No.
There's like, what do you mean? There's like 2 of those. You mostly shoot Nazis.
Man, I played the first
Nazi?
one.
Yeah, there's like Nazis. It's like Nazis and the Russians.
No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Really? Which one did you play?
The game wasn't that good, man.
I'll fight you right now, dude.
It was boring, Rand. It was boring.
Which one? 2033? Did you play the remastered version, or
yeah? I tried both of them.
Dude, I used to look up to you, man.
The man is triggered.
I gotta say though, the new one.
You know what? Wait a minute, Rand. It's about opinions, man. Games are all about opinions, and I'm sorry, I don't.
Not here, dude. This isn't about opinions. This
I don't play things with giant rodents like that in it, and it's just my preference.
Yeah. I'm just giving.
I forgot to say, Fonz taught him a couple of integral lessons right after Sea of Thieves came out, and the guy looks at things a little different now. So you just gotta take it. You gotta roll with the punches, man. Fonz has come a long way, haven't you, Fonz? Remember she said, if you've got nothing nice to say about a game, don't say it at all, right?
I guess.
I gotta say though, the new Metro is going to be using ray tracing in it though, so it's going to be one of the first games to be using the DX12 ray tracing. So let's see how that pans out.
Well, unless I'm mistaken, aren't they describing this game as an open world version this time around?
The last one was kind of that way a little bit.
They've mostly been kind of linear experiences.
They were, but I think this one is supposed to be much bigger. Maybe not on the scope of like a Far Cry, but I think at the very least maybe a large Tomb Raider, like a big sandbox.
Hopefully it's just not boring like the other two.
Fonz, you keep on saying that, man. you keep on pushing me.
You know what? There was a couple times when I fell asleep playing The Last Light, so I'm not gonna pussyfoot around.
You guys fall asleep playing a game. I've never fallen asleep while playing a game. How's this happen?
Or hey, look, Ori in the Blind Forest was fire.
Well, okay, that is facts.
Why'd you bring that up?
Hey, I had to come
trying to
back-
redeem himself.
back into
Try
the
Inside
good
yet,
graces.
Rod?
Had to come back.
Did you try Inside yet, Fonz?
Not yet. No, I will though. I will.
Bought Fonz and Colt to copy Inside so they could experience this game. Neither of them had booted it up yet.
There's so many great games to play. Come
That's
on,
a slap in the face. You gift them a great game, and neither of them play it.
Why do
Hey,
I feel like this is
yeah.
horrible therapy and I'm not comfortable?
Chat, forgive us. All right. Well, I mean, we're talking about video games on a video game podcast.
It feels like couch time. It feels like couch time, Colt.
It does.
But hey, we got to get it moving. For those 400 plus watching already, guys, hit that like button if you can. Like I said, we're talking about some video games on a video game podcast. Forgive us. We don't really talk about, all the men and shit and all that weird shit that other motherfuckers do. So Fortnite hits 2 million players in 24 hours on the Switch, which is pretty crazy because that's a free-to-play game and Switch is a wildly successful console. But I bring this up to bring up something else is that that game's free, and something like State of Decay and Game Pass doing 1 million in a day or whatever it was, that wasn't impressive to people. That's a paid game, by the way, but Fortnite to people is very impressive. What are your thoughts on? Do you think there's a little bit of ridiculousness there, Rand?
What was the number for Fortnite? You said it was 125 million?
No, fraud. It's 2 million.
Oh, on the Switch?
In 24 hours, yes, downloaded.
Yeah, sounds pretty impressive to me. They also announced 125 million in this year, so
yep.
It's the power of free, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like 6 million if PlayStation wasn't locking those bastards' accounts out.
Oh,
we're gonna touch on that here in a minute. But what do you think about the fact that something like State of Decay 2 or even Sea of Thieves saw those numbers, and that's a paid game, not in that window of time, but in a day or two they hit 1 million plus, and they eventually won't hit 2 million. Nobody gave a shit then. It was all just excuses, and nobody was impressed at all with paid games hitting those numbers when a free game is doing those numbers. I mean, don't you see something there, Rand? A little bit, maybe?
I guess it depends on who's saying it. If it's the trolls out there, then maybe. But I don't know. I mean, all you really need to know about Sea of Thieves and State of Decay is that Phil Spencer on the Giant Bomb interview that I think you talked about in one of your videos recently, he went on to say that they blew away their sales expectations, even though it was in Game Pass.
Yep.
Like he said that people who are subscribed to Game Pass play more games and buy more games, which is a weird statistic that you would think wouldn't be true, but it is because they turn their Xboxes on more and they just play more stuff. So apparently
5 times the games on average. And yeah, I used some of that. I used the data from the article Microsoft released in a "You Were Wrong About Game Pass" video. And that interview came out with Phil Spencer where he confirmed that Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 far surpassed their best expectations. And that's while in Game Pass.
Yeah, so imagine what Forza Horizon 3 is going to do.
Oh yeah,
Well,
a game that's going to probably be a 90 meta, the best exclusive this year. If what Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 are doing, like that game's going to have 5 million players in a week.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
Forza Horizon 3 is a little older, but I can understand where you come from with 4. Yeah, for sure. 4 looks pretty awesome. Do you think it's gonna be a 90 meta?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be 93, man.
Chat, let us know what you think Forza Horizon 4 is gonna clock in. I want to
a 93, D. That's really high.
No.
Really
Here's
high.
my prediction.
It's going to be in England, for one. You got the seasons, that's a new aspect of the game, and we already know Forza's it's fucking polished, man. So
Here's what's going to happen: is Forza Horizon 3 was a 91 because it did just about everything right. They're going to say that it slightly improves on the last one, which would be a 93, right? But because it only slightly improves on a sequel, they're going to dock it, so it's going to take a little bit of hit, and it could be below 91 just because of that.
I think it'll follow a trend and hit 60 69 again. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it'll be like honestly, I think it'll be about an 88.
Yep.
We've got a lot of numbers there in the chat. You know, it could suffer from kind of diminishing returns where it's like, hey, the first game was great, amazing. It did things that were a little different for this type of game. Next one comes out, it doesn't do enough different, so it's not as impressive, and they might do what like Colt said and give it like an 88, 89. That's kind of that's what happened to Forza 6, I think it was. That was getting the same reviews, even lower some places, even though it crushed 5 in every way. I guess because it just didn't do enough. I don't know.
I will say though, a lot of gamers out there are excited for this game. It not having the drivatars and all real people out there. A lot of people are excited, even on the Sony side. I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, Lethal Papa says 84 all day long. Damn, Lethal, you got to raise that a little bit. I don't think it's gonna be that low.
Damn.
Maybe 88 to 90. We'll see. Who knows?
All right, dealer. What about this one though?
What?
Will it have a higher Metacritic than Spider-Man?
No,
I think so. Yeah.
Nope.
I think Spider-Man's a solid 85 to 87. And that's not an insult. That's a
no. That's a great score, but I think it's going to do over 90. I really do.
Yeah,
I think it's going to hit at least 90.
Yeah. I think Insomniac are a spectacular developer, but if you look at their history, they don't have a history of blowing people away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
most of their games are in the mid 80s, and I plan on Spider-Man being there as well.
To be fair, though, some people have played it at E3, and everyone came back saying that the game is just awesome. So I too think it will do a 90.
I'm sure it's, I mean, 86, 87 is awesome to me. I mean, that's fucking great. I don't think it'll come close to like 92 or God of War or anything like that. It is what it is. I guess we'll see. But nonetheless, shout out to over 500 people watching us live, guys. Hit that like button. It really helps. More than you know. Maybe share this bitch somewhere. It really helps. As we talk about some Gears of War 5, I guess Rob Ferguson confirmed that they're going 60 frames per second across all modes on the Xbox One X, D.
Wow.
Did you hear that, D?
No, I didn't hear that. Repeat that again for me.
60 frames, all modes, D-batch. Did you?
Is that at 4K? Because technically Gears 4 is 60 frames on all modes on the X.
Yeah. Go ahead, Colt. Go on that.
Let's see where I got to look that up.
Yeah, look it up. You remember, right?
Yeah, I remember. He said, well, I want to say it exactly because, you know, if you misquote, people go make a video about you. Here it is.
Taylor's a liar.
Here it is. The quote is, "Our target is always 60 FPS." This is directly from Rod Ferguson of Coalition. "Our target is always 60 FPS, and we believe with everything we've done, the learning we've taken from Gears 4, and the optimizations we've been able to do beyond that, that's exactly what we're going to do. 60 FPS at 4K, close quote.
Wow.
And then he says, "A new technology of this generation has been fantastic." And he's talking about the Xbox One X. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to read it word for word. I think it's kind of important.
Yeah, because if you would have said 4K 60 in the campaign, people would have been like, expose this motherfucker right now.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's impressive if they pull that off. It is worth noting that Unreal Engine 4 does have temporal reconstruction built into the engine as an option, as a tool. Will they use that? I don't know. But for them to get up to 4K and 60 frames on that power, and keep in mind, I've been pretty accurate about this stuff in the past. I'm not sure they can do that. That's pretty crazy, especially given the leap in visuals from Gears 4 to Gears 5.
And you've been surprised before, too. You've been surprised on a couple different games where they really just squeeze every last bit out of that console.
Well,
you know, I heard something
surprised me, but yeah.
I heard something really bad. I mean, I was watching somebody's video and they were actually talking about how Gears 5 got a downgrade visually from 4. And I'm like, what are you looking at?
Come on.
What are you looking at?
Standard definition.
This game looks like shit. They're watching on like a tube.
And that's how bad it's gotten lately. These people, these fanboys need to stop their bullshit on all sides. Okay, let's cut the bullshit out here. They're always going after some stupid ass fucking narrative. And this one is about the dumbest thing I've heard, because anybody can see, if you've got eyes anyway, look at Gears 5, look at Gears 4. It's an obvious upgrade in the visual department. And you know what? If you say otherwise, you're an idiot. An idiot. I'm just tired of the bullshit.
They need some bubble goggles. You're right, Noof. I agree. That and and try it again. I mean, the screenshots themselves, instantaneously, you're like, okay, this looks significantly better.
Yeah.
Rand, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
It's a non-thought, right?
Yes. I think Gears 5 looks way better than 4.
Now, I got a better question for you.
Okay.
Hit me. How much are they paying you to say that?
I mean, let me check my Excel
Game Pass for a year.
Well, Microsoft is giving me all expense paid tickets to E3 next year, flight, hotel, a copy of Gears of War 5 to give away on my podcast. Yeah. Hold on, yeah.
Just to say Gears 5, the sequel to Gears 4, looks better. Biggie says in the chat, yeah, it looks better. Like, what's the big deal?
Wait. Is somebody saying that Z said that that 4 looks better? I got to talk to Z, man.
But you know what? After hearing a lot of what people say, I like to go right to the source about stuff because, you know, that stuff gets misconstrued a lot. So we just had Z on the show last week, and he said 5 was one of the best looking games the best looking game of the generation that he had ever seen. So why would he say 4 looks better unless he's just, you know, so.
Dealer, but that's not the big issue with Gears 5. You know, throw out the 60 frames, throw out how good it looks. It's got women, dude. It's got freaking women. They're taking over the gaming industry. They're in all my games.
I don't even want to talk about this trash, but I will say that with Kate, if you play Gears 4, you know why they're letting you play as Kate. Without all this stuff going on here recently with Battlefield and all that, right? This makes sense.
Yeah.
If you know who Kate's grandmother is, you know what happened to her mom.
Yeah.
You understand where they're going with this.
Yeah, and it's a big deal.
Yeah. D, what were you gonna say?
No, I said it's a big deal. Yeah, if you're following the storyline, it's a real big deal. What's going on with her?
Mm-hmm.
Like
and keep in mind, this is like an open world Gears. We covered this last week. Like that ice sled, you can apparently drive that bitch all over the place in the desert and stuff. Like this is pretty crazy for Gears. And then Rod says, "Okay, we're shooting for 60 across the board on the X at 4K." Seems insane to me. So. At 1080p 60, Gears 4 looked amazing. They weren't maxing out the GPU, but like I said, they were doing that to make sure no drops came from the GPU. It was only CPU related, the very few drops that there were. So Gears 5 just looks...
Well, when you compare like the facial features and textures and stuff, it looks so much better on 5 than 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can see more details in the skin and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
And
different models completely.
And when you look at what little bit of gameplay they did show on that little trailer, it looks incredible, man. The lighting, everything looks awesome. I can't wait to play it. And 60 frames, yes, let's go.
Metrics by themselves, like, and this is the crazy part, Rand. We both know that Coalition had 2.5 years to make Gears 4.
Yep,
this is a year and a half of development.
No, I'm sure it's longer than that. 2019, they probably finished. They probably started early 2017 after the DLC was finished. Probably the same amount of time turnaround.
Well, I mean, as of right now, from what we've seen now.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm impressed, dude. Like, I'm actually really looking forward to Gears 5 much more than I was 4. 4 seemed like it was playing it too safe. I wasn't really feeling JD, you know, the main character. Yeah. But this one seems to take it in a little bit different direction, spicing up what Gears of War is. And honestly, Kate, like playing as her, figuring out what's going on inside of her head. Like, I'm really excited to play Gears 5, and I'm not that much of a Gears fan.
And Rand, I'll echo that and say that it seems like Kate just has a better personality than JD. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It seems like she's got it. Like,
Dale's the funny guy. I like him.
Well, I was getting sucked in by that trailer they showed at E3. You know what I'm saying?
JD in the first game though did have a good personality, but in this game, it looks like all the fun's just sucked out of him, man.
Well, yeah, he's grizzled. His arm got fucked up. Motherfucker, you know, like looked like I don't know what happened. Looked like he went to Titanfall Princess's channel and died. So,
hey, Dealer, do you think it's just gonna be 2-player co-op, single player, 4-player co-op?
I think it'll be 2-player co-op.
Yeah, 2-player. Yeah.
That's what I think. We do got some people freaking out about Gears Tactics. We've mentioned this before. Gears Tactics not on Xbox One day one, but don't be surprised if you see it come later. So it's not really worth freaking out about. It's that XCOM strategy game, all that good stuff. So not really to freak out about. We'll see it on Xbox eventually.
Do we really need those type of games on a console anyways? Those games are more suited to the PC. Like,
no, but I think it's the principle of the matter. I think people are just upset because they're getting an exclusive game on the PC where the Xbox isn't. And
if Microsoft produce a game, I would always prefer them to bring it to the consoles.
I mean, you never want less games. You always want more games. And I agree with Dealer. I think Gears Tactics is coming to Xbox. They probably know it's coming to Xbox, but they don't want to announce it yet. And whenever that game does, did they give a year? I don't think they've given a year yet, right?
No, I don't think they've given a year for any of the Gears, right?
Well, no, it was 2019 for 5, that's for sure. 2019 for Gears Pop, I remember that, but I don't remember
that officially though. 2019.
That's what it said at the end of the trailer.
I actually talked to a lot of folks that want to play the Gears Tactics, that they like RTSs. So, you know what? It's not for everyone, but there are gamers out there who would play it on the X.
Yeah. I'm with Dealer though. I think the game will come to the Xbox. Whether it's day and date or 2 months later, it'll come.
Such a fucking smart guy, Rand.
I know, right?
Hey, we got to give a shout out to Lady Foxfire. She was her channel is getting bigger and stuff, so go check her out. I retweeted it here yesterday, so just go to my feed and look through the last couple posts. Hey, I want to talk about Forza Horizon 4. As we noted before, when you and Shady were having your little discussion on Twitter about the Game Pass versus Ultimate Edition.
Yes.
The expansions come in the Ultimate Edition this time, right?
Finally, I actually sent email to a couple people at Microsoft about this last year because I was pissed. I'm like, how are you going to call something an Ultimate Edition and not get everything that the game has? Like, this is bull. And they're like, yeah, we're going to look into it. And sure enough, this time the Ultimate Edition actually comes with the expansions. Thank God. Because if you're going to call something Ultimate, it better come with everything.
Yeah, it should.
Don't tell that to Ubisoft and their Assassin's Creed. There's like 4 versions above Ultimate. It's ridiculous.
Don't tell that to Rockstar with their Red Dead 2. Their shit doesn't even come with the game.
The Rockstar don't give a fuck, though.
They don't.
So 2 expansions for Forza Horizon 4.
Yep.
And they're usually $20 a piece, so there's your $100, but you get 4 days early access on the game.
Forza Horizon 4 is worth $100. It's worth every penny. I would pay $100 for it.
It is, but you're not really getting a discount for the extra content with the Ultimate Edition.
You also
there's
get,
only 2.
Get the car pass. And
the
car pass and all.
Usually $30 or $40 with the cars, right?
Yeah.
Car pass alone, I think so. It's either the same or you save money, and then you get the expansions on top of that. And the cool thing is, if you want to play in Game Pass, you can play it there. If you want to buy it, you can buy it there. So everyone just kind of wins. The odd thing is, I heard Dan Greenwald say that the Forza 17, 100% of their team are still working on Forza 7. I don't know if this is new or if they're going to push Forza 8 back or what. Like, what's the theory there, Ran?
I mean, if they're working on Forza Motorsport 7 still, I can't imagine 100% of that team is working on Forza Motorsport 7. They have to have moved over to 8.
Yeah. I mean, they're usually in pre-production before 7 would launch. 8 would be in pre-production, right? So,
yeah, unless they're using the seasons things in Forza Horizon 4, you know how the game changes every week as it moves to one season to the next, as like a Forza game that could essentially take its place next year while they work up Forza Motorsport 8 for a launch release of the next Xbox Scarlet in 2020. I guess it's possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Top Dog, once again, how many times do I have to destroy you over this DLC thing? I will say it again, okay? If Forza 7 is DLC with 700 cars over 30 tracks, then what the fuck is GT Sport? GT Sport has 15 tracks, over half of which aren't even real, and 150 cars at launch for the same price.
GT Sport is the Walmart edition of Gran Turismo.
You lost 1,000 cars. You lost 1,000 cars and like 20-something tracks from GT6 to GT Sport. That's like less than DLC. What is that? That's a game.
That's free to play Drive Club. That they finally got their free to play Drive Club
that's the epitome of a cash grab. That's what that was.
Furthermore, the game is not nearly as good as Forza 7. So even if it's DLC, you're insulting your own game, bud. So
there's like a 10-point difference on Metacritic. I think GT Sport is around a 75, and I think Forza 7 is an 86 or something like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
7,
that's a little fraudulent.
Yeah, and it got dock points for having microtransactions. It still doesn't fucking have a year later. So kind of crazy. Right,
Oh.
I do. Once again, guys, almost 600 people watching live. Hit that like button if you can. Let's try to get 300 for the end of the show. And shout out to
you know what? Shout out to Top Dog though. It's good to see you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where were
good
you,
friend of ours.
Top Dog? Where were you? Let us know in the chat because you weren't there. Not that I remember. 60 FPS mode in Horizon 4 as well.
God, that game's gonna be so good, dude. I'm not the biggest fan of it being in the UK, but I'm so happy they're putting a 60 frames mode into that title.
I heard that Brits.
Yeah.
Rand does not like the UK.
No,
What?
I didn't say that. I said I'm not a fan of this game being in the UK because it's too much like Forza Horizon 2. They were in France.
Yep.
Why not
It
go
is.
to Japan or something?
It's gonna look like a mix of 3
thought
and 2.
I
Yeah.
thought they were returning to France when I actually saw the beginning of that trailer, and then when they said UK, I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, Japan would have been so nice with the neon lights and just everyone's been asking for Japan. Like, come on, give it to us.
Although I guess the seasons things, you kind of need a place that actually can accentuate that. You know, actual spring, summer, winter, and fall.
D and I wanted purple cherry blossom petals flying all over our car while we listened to Air Supply.
Well, maybe in 2021 or 2020, Forza Horizon 5 can be in Japan cold.
Hey, I gotta give William Ramos a shout out. Sorry, bud, I'm multitasking so badly. I don't see any of this chat fly by. So, shout out to William Ramos. 60 frames mode though. That's a big win for everyone, and you're noticing a trend already with a lot of these Xbox games this year or coming out this year and next year. 60 frames is in the headlines, getting some of the biggest cheers from the audience. Phil mentioned that a few times, like, all right, Phil, hopefully you know that stuff's important because it is. I mean, every game's better at 60. And by the way, one last thing with Horizon 4. Each season with Horizon 4, for those that didn't know, will last a week, a real life week. So for a week of you playing the game, it'll be spring, summer, fall, all that stuff. So each season will be a week long. And Rand, how do you think that reviews will work? Do you think they'll speed up time? And
They have to. They have to.
Here's the thing, dealer, that's going to happen. The bucket lists and the different challenges will probably be season specific. So you'll be able to see winter before waiting a week to play the game. But dealer and I were talking the other night about, like, are they going to allow some kind of modifier for those people that are reviewing it, because it's going to be a shared world for all those that are in review. So how's that going to work, Rand?
I would imagine they can easily modify it, move it up, like 3 days instead of a week. And considering that they made the point to say seasons change everything, it would be kind of weird to give reviewers one season and be like, well, did it change everything? And you'd be like, I don't know. I only got to play one season. How am I supposed to know? So I expect them to like kind of fine tune it, maybe a season every. Because usually Forza Horizon games get sent out pretty early to press, usually 2 weeks before release. So I would imagine they maybe change it like a season every 3 days, maybe every 2 days. So you can actually see how things change. I can't imagine that they're going to leave it at a week, but maybe they would. I don't know.
Yeah, Race in the chat says, how about Telltale Games going broke? I didn't hear about that, Rand. Is that a thing?
Telltale Games went broke. They just announced a Stranger Things game.
Yeah.
They went broke. I know people were leaving and they had to cut a lot of their workforce.
No, I saw some. I didn't read it, but somebody was throwing around an article saying that they are hurting financially.
Yeah, I saw it as well. I didn't read it.
Well, those games have kind of run their course now, to be honest with you.
Sir, have you played Detroit? They have not run their course.
That's a little step up.
Detroit's completely. I know how people like to compare the two, but Detroit plays completely different.
They're extremely similar. It's a walking simulator with decisions. It's exactly what a Telltale game is.
I don't know. The Detroit's on another league to me, to be honest.
Well, that's because Quantic Dream is an A-list developer and Telltale's devs are like C tier.
Yeah. Like the Walking Dead stuff was really cool and stuff, but I don't know. I just want
for everybody.
Yeah, I just want more. So I could see people losing. I could see that game losing its charm for people. Whereas Detroit, yes, it's similar in the way that it kind of plays. I think you got a little bit more freedom in Detroit, to be honest with you. The characters move a lot better. The animations are better. Of course, the graphics are far superior. So there's a difference there. It's the same yet different.
Well, somebody mentions like licensed things like Batman and stuff. That's the only reason I played them is because I'm a big Arkham fan and stuff, and I actually got through the Batman one. So I don't know. That's
Did you play the new Batman one, The Enemy Within?
I didn't finish it yet. I got to wait for my girl because she'll stab me if I don't wait for her to play through it. So
How far have you started it at all? Or are you kind of just
on like episode 3?
Yeah, I really like this one because it was like the origin story for the Joker.
Yeah, I mean the Jaggies are pretty bad. It's just like the fucking thing's gonna shimmer off the screen. So Rand, tell us about these avatars. You've got experience with these things. Can you tell us anything about them at all?
Jeez.
You can't. I'll just go watch your video and I'll tell them.
Yeah, I mean the video's long because I went over literally everything. I don't know. Microsoft released their Xbox Avatar editor for the Avatars 2.0 today to people in the Insider Ring, Alpha, and Skip Ahead. And all you can really do is kind of make your own from a preset of custom-made ones, kind of like shape the body, the hair and all that stuff, and take a picture for your gamer pick. And that's all really you can do right now. Obviously, later in the year there'll be different things, but it's a nice little taste of what you can expect at least from the new system. Now, does it look as good as the trailers from last E3 when they look Pixar quality? I don't think so.
I do have to say though, Rand, I will give them credit, or you credit. You made one that looks exactly like you. Perfect.
Damn right. I was going for that, man. I wanted one to represent me. I'm wearing a sundress right now, so it's in.
You're wearing the dress I sent you, right?
I got the prosthetic arm, because I lost my arm in Nam, so I had to get that one there.
Top Dog wants to know why Xbox is selling dolls with the Xbox. That's because they're trying to lure some of you weird Sony motherfuckers. That's why.
It's to give Top Dog something to play with since he doesn't play games.
He doesn't play games. Top Dog in VR. Woo!
So Top Dog is sitting there with the Xbox doll, just stroking its hair while he listens to RDX.
No. He combs the hair.
Oh, shit.
Top Dog, man.
Today we're gonna do a French braid.
Man, this guy, he's like every podcast, man, just trolling.
Oh, yeah.
I love Top Dog. He's funny. He's hilarious.
What people don't get is the satire because he's like a huge Xbox fan. And yeah, I don't think he owns a PS4, but yeah, he's just one of those that kind of like tries to troll around. He's a big fan of everybody here.
He was loving Far Cry 5 on the X and how much better it looked on the Pro, and he just Pro. So yeah, it's great stuff, Top Dog. Shout out to you. I know you're watching this through your VR headset right now. Rand, do you want to tell us anything else about the updates that are notable?
I mean, it's much improved over the originals. I will say that. But I mean, if you really weren't a fan of the first set, I don't think you're going to be a fan of these. I mean, I don't know. Like, did you guys like the old avatars? Like,
for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to mess around with and maybe, make it as close to you as possible. But I just don't care. But, Microsoft's all about inclusivity because you can make the character short, tall. You can make them fat, skinny, any sort of skin color. We can be in a wheelchair.
And let's be real. The teams working on this are not supposed to be working on games, right, Rand?
No, of course not. I mean,
and keep in mind, that robot arm comes with a 2,500 RPM motor. So,
is that the same arm from Battlefield 5?
Oh
no, I don't think so.
JD, what do you think about these avatars? I know it's the first thing you're going to do when you get them.
I'm excited to make I'm excited to make my ideal version of myself via the avatar there. I mean, I like to have fun with that kind of stuff when it's available, but it's nothing serious. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But my guy's gonna be rocking out that Professor X wheelchair, rolling it around like a motherfucker if I can. Woo!
Of course you can. Why not?
Hey, and they're exclusive, so there you go.
Oh God!
I don't even think I'm going to use it, to be honest, at all.
I like my custom picture, and a lot of people like their custom avatar pictures or whatever.
Yeah, that's going to drive you out of business, Colt. Nobody's going to want pictures made from you anymore. They can just,
They said they're made to have both. You can have your custom picture and your avatar, like dancing and doing the Carlton, in the background. But I mean, really, I don't know. Whatever.
Can I do a helicopter? Somebody says SJWs or anti-SJWs got worse than SJWs. Well, you know what? I don't really talk about that stuff, but I did want to point out that it is odd. You'll notice each side getting triggered. So I think everyone's just fucking frauds. Honestly, I don't really fuck with any one side because you're a snowflake, but you're getting triggered over somebody being a snowflake. So aren't we all snowflakes somehow?
Yeah, I think we're all a little too sensitive.
Oh, geez, it's kind of ridiculous, and they don't even see it. So, we also got this new fast start tech, which is entering preview as well, right, Brand?
Indeed, it is. And Just was testing it out yesterday. You could play Flame in the Flood at like 30%. It's only enabled for 6 games. So I went to the Insider Hub, and it was like, please help us test this out by installing and starting up one of these 6 games. So.
Wouldn't it be some shit if next gen came out right in a few years and they just they wiped everything away that they've been doing for 6-7 years? Starting over.
I don't know. I don't really have that issue because I like most of the games I play, I pre-order or digitally. So like for instance, Nier Automata, when that comes out, it's going to be ready to go as soon as like midnight hits. So I don't really have that issue. I usually download my games in advance. Am I the only one that does that? I guess maybe.
Nope. I got them in advance usually. Yeah.
So,
but I'll buy a random game like Gravel. Right, Gravel was on sale for $25. I know life that got like 900 gamer score on it. So did Lethal. Lethal Papa was playing it too. I had to download that, and that took a minute. But internet's getting so fast. It's like, well, maybe these next gen games are going to be fucking huge. I don't know. Gears on the PC is 130 gigs, so. With a game like that, I see it.
And it's not just for Game Pass, because I do see people saying that, like, this is specifically for Game Pass. It's not. This is for every game on Xbox. They just wanted to give it some shine, so they put it during the Xbox Game Pass segment, but it's not a feature specifically for Game Pass.
Yeah. We got to give a shout out to Kid Smooth, brother. We had him on the show a couple times. Got to get him back on here, too. But yeah, interesting. That stuff's in preview. It'll probably be out in the next month, right? So
yeah, don't delete your YouTube channel, kid.
You speaking about the faster internet's dealer. I think that in the near future, I don't know how near here, but I think Xbox will convert their Game Pass over to a digital service, streaming service.
Nope.
I think
they'll give you the option for a long time. Honestly,
I think it'll happen though eventually.
I don't think so. No, their streaming service is going to be something else. It won't be the same games from Xbox Game Pass.
They may offer Game Pass streamable, but still keep the conventional download and install.
Maybe that might work too. Yeah. But I think they're going to do that eventually.
I've been seeing the trend that I've been seeing, and I'm working on a video for this. I'll work my butt off on it, and then it'll be so late no one cares. But it's one of the things we're talking about. Microsoft seems to be choosing more than just one thing instead of forcing one option, and because not everybody's the same. Some people live out in BF&E and they can't. Yeah, they don't have the right internet.
So. Breaking news here. The Xbox Twitter account just tweeted out, "Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with."
Is that the new release date for Crackdown 3?
Is Shaq Fu making a comeback?
It's already out, dude. The new Shaq Fu's out.
Oh, is it?
I saw Crap's tweet. He said somebody gifted me Shaq Fu. I'm not really sure if that's a friend or a troll.
That game.
Dealer, I don't know. Did you see the news? We're talking about Game Pass here. Did you see the news that PlayStation's going to start offering people the ability to download PlayStation 4 games?
That was the name.
Yes, now.
Brand? Gosh.
Oh my God! I blew it. I'm sorry. You didn't get it.
Perfect segue. So it turns out, they're going the opposite direction. Like, hey, it turns out people don't like, 180 milliseconds input lag. And they're allowing you to download select, I guess, PS4 titles, right, Rand?
Yeah, select. That's what Kotaku said. And I don't know, there's hints that at PS3 games, although I don't know how that's possible. As PlayStation gamers have repeatedly told me that they never play old games, so I don't understand.
Well, I told them to back off that narrative because PS5 you'll be playing you'll have all your old PS4 games, and what, are you not going to care about any of them anymore or what? Because you'll have back compat on PS5, so you might want to make up your minds before that bitch comes out. For sure.
So if games like Killzone Shadowfall, The Last of Us, God of War Remastered, Until Dawn, Uncharted 3, if those games are on PS Now and you can download them on PC or play them, is that mean they're not exclusive anymore?
Well, who you talk to?
It's also like the folks that like to point out that graphics don't matter. It's all about the gameplay. Yet when a game is shown and then it finally comes out, they talk about downgrades and visuals. And I'm like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking about how great Ghost of Tsushima looks.
Hey, this is just another thing about, businesses competing with each other. Xbox Game Pass doing very well by downloading, and then all of a sudden Sony's like, hey, it seems like people want this. Let's offer it for our consumers.
Hey, Neverland, I gotta expose you real quick, bud. Metacritic really disagrees with your claim there. Killzone, Warzone, Shadowfall does not beat Halo 5. Sorry, nor user. Yeah, you're wrong.
No one.
Yeah, that's interesting. So they're offering downloadable titles for PlayStation Plus games, as we said forever ago. We told you it'd come to PC. You guys were like, nah, because you were saying PC meant it wasn't exclusive, and then it came to PC. And then we told you it'd be downloadable eventually. Now that's happening. Hey, it's interesting. Aaron Greenberg confirms in an interview with Jeff Keighley, for those that are curious and any trolls out there that want to go back and forth about this, we do have a link for you. He confirms that CD Projekt Red came to Xbox to debut Cyberpunk 2077. Apparently, most of those third parties on the stage decided to go with Microsoft this year. They did not pay them to have Devil May Cry 5 there, for instance, right?
Right.
And I think Phil mentioned, or somebody, I was watching an interview with somebody, they mentioned that maybe it's because Sony were doing something odd this year, the tent thing and the kissing and shit. I don't really know what's going on there. So
world renowned.
Yeah.
Sorry, dealer. I started to break your train of thought. Keep going.
You're right. Yeah, all that weird shit. And I think just some publishers and developers said, well, you know what? We're going to go on the big stage that's going to get, a lot of games there that a lot of people are going to check out. Now, I know like the individual gameplay videos have done great for Sony. The gameplay videos have done really well.
Yeah.
Like we covered earlier, it was a steamroll, and all the polls, the websites, everybody says Xbox One. So
the viewers on the Microsoft briefing were really huge too. They said they broke some kind of record, but it didn't. It was hard for me to believe, but they said more people watched the E3 briefing for Microsoft than they did the Sony one.
Well, no, I mean the record they broke was that on Twitch, the Microsoft conference had the most concurrent or most viewers ever for a Twitch stream all time. So,
well, I think all eyes were on Microsoft this year, though. I think everybody was, waiting to see what they had because, of all the issues they've had in the past couple of years. So,
yeah, and I think a lot of the third parties might have went to Microsoft because Sony was doing something different. They wanted to just showcase.
Well, they heard about the intermission. They heard about Flute Man, and they were like, "No thanks."
Yeah, no thanks. We'll go with Microsoft, who they put on a solid show, man. Like it was really reminiscent of E3 2016 Sony show, where it was just a game after game after game.
Yeah,
talking.
I think it was one of the best Microsoft shows ever, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying that. You guys know I'm not a fanboy of the Xbox or whatever, but I really thought it was a great show. I enjoyed the hell out of that show.
You're not the only one who said that.
And the thing is that a lot of people say, oh, they showed multiplats. Doesn't matter. These are the multiplats that we wanted to see. Everybody wanted to see what Cyberpunk 2077 was all about. And we got to see that at the Microsoft press conference. And we got to see it in 4K at that. All the games that they showed at the Microsoft press event, they were all in 4K.
What do people think E3 is about? It's about the fucking games, people. It's not about exclusives. It's about games. Stop with this bullshit. Oh, they showed multiplats. God damn it. You play multiplats, you idiot. I mean, that's games.
but last year, Sony showed a bunch of multiplats, and I didn't hear the same guy saying the same shit then.
Who cares? That's what it's about. It's about the celebration of games, period. People coming together to celebrate that. We're not celebrating consoles. That's not what we're doing at E3.
They just got to take the L. It's not a big fucking deal. Just you lost bad. Not only did you lose, you lost really badly, and that's fine, but just take it and don't say nothing.
It's okay to lose once in a while. It's okay.
And what about that guy doing the cultural appropriation with the flute playing? Like on Twitter,
he's one of the best flute players on the planet. D.
Who cares, man? On Twitter, a lot of Asian people were really
all right, Fonz, go ahead and set him straight.
But he got so some person called him out about that, and she was totally smashed on Twitter by the Japanese community because he's studying under one of the best in I don't know what kind of flute that is.
Ones too, right?
He's one of the last masters of that flute, and it is a Japanese style. And, you know, he is well respected within the Japanese community. So that just got shot out of the water. In fact, the lady even got rid of her Twitter account after this. She got blasted.
She got crushed.
I don't care if he. I still don't care. It's still cultural appropriation to me. I don't give a shit. Honest to tell you, man.
I'm not gonna get triggered over.
You should have got someone.
Dude, I don't really give a shit enough to get triggered over it. So, hey, Arcade Riot, he says, what Xbox exclusive are each of us looking forward to the most? And I want to start with Rand. Thanks for the super chat, bud.
Xbox has no exclusives. Everybody knows this.
Dang it, Rand.
So obviously this year it's just Forza, but if I had to pick one from 2018 and 2019 that we know of, it's Ori and the Will-O-Wisps.
Well, I mean, this year it's just Spider-Man on PS4 too, so I think that's what people forget. And each side has one, right?
Yeah. To be fair, though, Sony had more exclusives this year. Let's be fair.
Well, Sony had 2 and Microsoft had 2, so not really.
What did we have this year?
Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, and I understand people are like, "What you're saying? Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, the numbers aren't as high."
What about Shadow of the Colossus, a remake of a remaster?
Oh God, the numbers are goddamn close. So with Horizon and Spider-Man, the numbers are really close, and each one, more importantly, going forward, because everyone's done with God of War, love God of War, won't play it again until I can get that Lock 60 on PS5 eventually. Horizon 4, Spider-Man are it. And
You're also forgetting Detroit. Detroit was also an exclusive.
Yeah, and Detroit was exclusive, but we're moving forward, right? So, like I said, we kind of see a Thieves and State of Decay 2. Whether or not you liked them, that's all opinion. We kind of got a word in Detroit. They did have the Shadow Colossus, though, so they had one more. Yeah. Microsoft have Forza. Sony have Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man appeals to more people for obvious reasons. You're getting day one, but I'm also a massive car guy, so Forza's day one, got the Ultimate Edition already. So they're very close. And for the rest of the year, each side has one. And I would have to go for this year, definitely Horizon 4, because, hey, what the fuck else do we have? Next year, Gears 5 looks insane.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about being a multi-console owner, though. Who gives a fuck where you're playing these games? They're being played. Man. I don't care, It's fun.
I don't like to be locked out. If there's a game, I want to be able to play it. So that's everything.
What game?
Except for the Switch. Sorry.
What game you look forward to? Halo Infinite, Gears 5, Horizon 2.
You know what? Halo Infinite, I like where they're going with it, with the open world, and I like that they're using a completely new engine. So I'm intrigued because it's definitely not going to be the same old Halo. It's not Halo 6. It's a completely new take on Halo. So I'm excited, man.
On a next generation engine, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Colt.
I got to say Crackdown. I'm like the only guy that's super looking forward to Crackdown, and I love how they put more time. They've actually, Phil Spencer said there was something off with the animation. It didn't look like I didn't want Crackdown 2 was already a 1.5. I didn't want that, and it's going to be worth the wait. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. I'm hoping.
But freaking Forza Horizon 4, I'm going to have that in like 3 or 4 months. Oh my gosh, I have like over 300 hours into that on the third one. I'm at level 412 or something. Oh, unbelievable. Hey, Neverland says, Crackdown, Colt, stop. I could tell you 100%, honestly, no crap holding back. I cannot wait for Crackdown, and that's just how it is.
Crackdown got a huge.
Go look at the Crackdown reviews too, because I think it's in the 70s, and if you've been excited
the second one, the first one,
or if you were excited for Killzone, if you were excited for Drive Club, it's okay to be excited for something that might be in the 70s. So
I think it flew over people's. I think it flew over people's head, though. The upgrade that game got, it looked substantially better than what they showed last year. Like it was a completely different game. The characters look completely different.
Yeah, it's an 83. The first one's an 83 on Metacritic.
So it's not no slouch. Crackdown's like, what do you mean Crackdown? It's an 83. It's good. or that was the last one or whatever. So
and they were excited about a remake of an old game, a remake. It's like we all like what we like, you know. Like people tell me all the time, Colt, you have to play Persona 5, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. I played Uncharted 4. I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I finished God of War. I'm playing Infamous Second Son. I play what I want to play.
Exactly. So, and who cares? You know, who cares? But I'm looking forward to most from the show anyway. At first, it was Ghost of Tsushima, but I've since changed that after watching a lot of videos and listening to a bunch of stuff on behind the scenes stuff. Cyberpunk 2077 is my game that I'm looking forward to most right now, and that's going to be at least 2 years out.
Yeah, I'm here in 2020, which means PS5 territory. So
yep.
On a podcast talking about a bus pass. Katie, what about you?
As the only man that knew without a shadow of a doubt that this game was showing up at E3.
Only man who lucked out.
Battletoads, baby.
Battletoads. Oh, God.
No, that's not really my number one. It's not my number one. Halo is my number one. Look forward to, but that is way out. Give me Crackdown as the most recent exclusive that's coming that I'm most hyped.
Did we get everybody?
Yeah. I want to put this out there. Somebody said Cyberpunk had no gameplay. There was gameplay shown behind the scenes, and that's what I'm talking about, is all the behind the scenes talk. Everybody who's seen it, his mind was blown with all of them.
Somebody put out a montage of all the quote unquote journalists that were behind closed doors playing it, like them coming out of the room, sitting down and talking to the developers, and like everybody was like their eyes were just popped open. So
they're shell shocked. I'm super hyped, but that's not exclusive.
I heard an Xbox. I think it was an Xbox executive like literally say nothing else comes close to that game right now.
I will say though, I was a little disappointed.
I don't remember where though.
I was a little bit disappointed it is a first person though. I was hoping that it was not.
Everyone is saying do not worry about the first person. When you see it, you're gonna be glad it is. So it's pretty cool.
Unfortunately, it's like sounds like it's 3 years away or so.
Yeah, it's at least 2.
You know what? I don't mind because that means it's going to be next gen, and you're just gonna fucking.
Red Dead 2 was there as well, Fonz. Behind closed doors to a
yes,
group of journalists.
I heard. I have a feeling that within the next week, I say next week probably. I guarantee you that Rockstar drops something.
Anybody find it odd that Red Dead 2 wasn't at Sony's show at all?
No,
not even a trailer, not even anything.
Rockstar doesn't usually show anything, so even hearing them behind the scenes showing gameplay is kind of odd to me at E3.
Rockstar doesn't give an F.
But if you look at their track record, anytime they drop a game after E3 like this, within a couple of weeks after E3, they show something. That's why I'm guessing next week, guys. I think they'll drop something.
They'll send out a tweet, like a little picture, and then tell us to wait 1 week for a trailer, and then we'll all just go,
Yep.
Hey, Bruno in the super chat says best Microsoft E3 ever. You know what? I'm inclined to. I'm leaning with you there, Bruno. I can't think of another one where I was.
Wait a minute. Fax Machine says that's not true. Rockstar is at E3. Rockstar traditionally does not go up on E3 stages and show their games.
I don't remember them doing that, but
I remember Peter Moore with the Grand Theft Auto tattoo and all that. But I mean, that's that was a different time, a long time ago. Hey, we gotta give a shout out to over 700 people watching us live, guys. Let's try to get up past 300 for the end of the show. Really helps the show. So yeah, PS Now streaming. Aaron Greenberg confirms the Cyberpunk thing. We've also got Microsoft taking shots at Sony, a little shot at Sony over Twitter over the whole Fortnite thing. If you guys didn't know, of course Fortnite basically said, hey, we want to do crossplay. If you want to carry your account from one device to another, you can. It's cool. Well, PlayStation people going to the Switch tried logging in and bringing over all their progress. It basically locked them into the PlayStation Store, and they couldn't go outside of that. All right, it was kind of a big deal. And Microsoft, because there's crossplay and stuff, right, Ran?
Yep.
So Microsoft tweeted at Nintendo UK and said, hey, you want to play some Fortnite later? Obvious dig at Sony, which I thought was kind of funny. What are the specifics of the Fortnite debacle here?
That if you ever linked your PlayStation account to your Epic account, that you couldn't then take that account and put it on Switch or Xbox. So for people that were wanting to play it on the Switch, They wanted to bring over their progress, all their skins they have and their battle pass stuff.
All that money they spent too, probably.
Yeah, so if it was linked up to PlayStation at some point, they couldn't link it to Switch. So it was this big, huge blow up. And I did see some people's this is Xbox guys complaining. Yet I saw news articles from the BBC. I saw videos from Fox News and CNN and like, really, is this Xbox people? Why is it on the news all over the place? I saw Reggie giving interviews. I was like, I think you're just trying to damage control the situation.
Their stock fell when they did this.
Well, people said that was unrelated to the crossplay debacle, but right now Sony's statement is that it's cost prohibitive for them to allow crossplay with the Switch, but doesn't that sound like a lie since they're cross-playing with PC and mobile? Like Sony has this faux pas about doing cross-play with Xbox, and now apparently with Switch, and they're saying with Xbox they need to protect the children, but with Nintendo Switch they can't say we need to protect the children because it's Nintendo. So they're saying it's cost prohibitive.
I'm a little confused here. Now, is it crossplay or is it just taking your account wherever you want?
Well, one can't happen without the other. That's the problem. You can't.
Well,
you cannot play on the Switch with an account that has played on the PS4. What's confusing me is that the issue with bringing it to your Xbox as well, or is Sony allowing me to play on my Xbox?
Is there actually cross-play between the Xbox and the Switch in terms of playing against each other?
Yes,
there is. Okay. But I'm just saying there should be no reason you couldn't at least take your account wherever you want to play these games, because your account is being held with Epic servers. Your account is not on Sony servers. So the cross-play thing, that sucks that they're totally against that. But stopping you from playing your character on another device is a whole nother thing. That's even worse, in my opinion.
It's never good to be anti-consumer, and people are like, well, Microsoft did it 27 years ago. Like, well, we were around back then. We tell you the same thing. If Microsoft do it tomorrow, plan on us putting a boot to their heads, because it's not pro-consumer. And if you pay for something, especially if you got hundreds of dollars for the microtransactions, and Sony don't tell you that, hey, we're going to lock this down to our console. We're the only ones who do it. And by the way, you can't fuck with anybody outside of PSN. Then that's kind of fucked up. No matter how you want to cut. If this happened, Fox, these same people would be attacking Microsoft for it.
So if they wanted to really play hardball, they could lock out your account from working on Xbox as well, or is that already happening?
I mean, that's already happened.
Oh my God!
They won't let you take it anywhere.
Yeah, once you link it to PlayStation, you can't link it anywhere else. Like, even if you unlink it, like, all that stuff doesn't work. But did you see Sony's shot at Microsoft though in their press release about this?
Play on the console that sold 80 million.
No, not that. It was that they offer a truly free to play experience.
Yeah. And I've been telling people, and I've been telling people to tell Microsoft that it's time for Microsoft to bring free to play access without gold. These consoles, they all are different in their own way, and there's things that Microsoft does that are great, like back and pat and these extra services and all this stuff that Sony will never offer. But Sony has a couple of things, like where they'll allow you to play free-to-play games like Fortnite without paying for PS Plus, and those things need to be evened out. And I'll be the first one, and I have been the first one to say, yeah, that needs to be fixed. Turn the switch off, stop that kind of crap, and just put yourself out in front. Microsoft needs to make it all right. You've got Sony who's made this major slip up. They look like they're not going to fix it because they're bragging about they've sold 80 million consoles, which is a slap in the face to consumerism. But Microsoft needs to show they're the bigger person and say, hey, we got to fix this too, and pull the gold requirement away from free to play.
What if Nintendo replied to that? Play on the console at 80 million. They're like, well, why don't you just play on the Wii? It has way more than that. And I mean, we're bringing Fortnite to the Wii, so it's better.
And they could. They probably play that thing on the Wii too.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, though, Colt. I think that Xbox should do that. Having these games locked behind a paywall, these free-to-plays anyway, are just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Microsoft used to have Netflix locked behind Xbox Gold. So this isn't the first time they've done something like this. And I think I'm with Colt. I think they need to get rid of that. Free-to-play games should remain free-to-play. They shouldn't be locked behind Xbox Live Gold.
I think
Yeah, this whole mess should be motivating them to get somebody on that, fix the red tape, fix whatever.
Well, I'm sure Epic doesn't like it. I'm sure Epic would love for it to be free to everybody on Xbox, not just Gold subscribers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they having talks about that.
I did that video about that Microsoft should make Xbox Live Gold free to push themselves up in front, and I got a ton of comments from people that said I would totally stop playing on Fortnite on my PS4 to play it on Xbox because we can't even fathom how many people that is their main game. They play it. Like those people that game a couple hours a day or 5 hours a day, those people are playing Fortnite for 5 hours every single day on their preferred console, and it's free on PlayStation.
Yep, that's how I got to play H1Z1. I don't have PSN Plus. I played H1Z1, played 3 games, and uninstalled it because it's trash.
Well, can you do a party chat without a gold subscription?
No, you need gold.
Okay, PlayStation lets you party chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other one, yeah.
Sony had the leg up in the free-to-play area, not paying to, and you can still play those. They had the leg up in the party chat. There are ways to get around it. Like if you want to use the Skype app, you don't have to pay for gold. Like that's what's so dumb about it. Like Rand mentioned, I praised Phil several times for getting rid of those paywalls for Netflix and YouTube and all that stuff, right? Made no sense. I could literally get on my cell phone or TV, get on Netflix for free, but I'd have to have gold to do it on my Xbox, right?
You don't need gold to do it on your PC, though. That's the other catch.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean?
Gold, and even for voice chat, you could just get on Skype and go right around that paywall with an app on the Xbox. It makes no sense. So, just get rid of it. Just drop it and see what happens.
What's the convenience difference between using Skype to party chat and the party chat app?
Only 4 people on it's dedicated server talk, I do believe it, but you can only have 4 people talking, so it's not a big deal. I wanted to move forward. We got other shit to talk about, but
shout out to Top Dog. He says 4K is a gimmick. Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah, Dealer, would you say something about that real quick?
Top Dog, bro. Stop drinking the Pine Sol.
Oh my
God. A 343 snatched up a Naughty Dog employee there. This is another one I'd like Rand to lead on because I know you're all up to date on this shit.
I don't think it's that big of a news as people want it. The stuff like this happens all the time.
Oh my God, yeah, developers are moving everywhere all the time.
It's
great though because Naughty Dog have always had some of the best time.
No, you're right, Naughty Dog. Yeah, I'm just saying like it's all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, Naughty Dog, dude, he's coming in to save Halo. It's like, dude, this happens all the time in the game industry. People go from one company to the next company. 343 is just hiring. They're hiring for a ton of positions. And people, maybe the guys at Naughty Dog is just like, I've been here for 7 years. I want to try something different. I want to put my stamp on Halo. And they switch. This isn't, I don't think it's like, I've seen people make videos being like, this is amazing. It's like, dude, it's the video game industry. People change jobs all the time.
People play games all the time. So you got people at Naughty Dog who play Halo. You got people at 343 that played all the Uncharted.
Just wait till you start hearing about the initiative. And who are they hiring, considering they're right next to Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica? They're going to start hiring some of the best. And then people are going to lose their mind. Oh, my God, they got the lead dude from Naughty Dog and the lead guy from God of War and the lead dude in Treyarch. People are going to start losing their minds, too.
Who are you talking about?
The Initiative, Microsoft studio that's located in Santa Monica. Like, they're gonna be poaching people from the studios around that area, which is Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica, Treyarch, Activision, EA's got studios over there. So
Microsoft has the money too.
Yeah. Money talks, really bullshit walks, man.
Mm-hmm. That's right. D, can you repeat that?
I said money talks, bullshit walks.
That's true. Yeah, that's why you flush. So they did poach somebody from Uncharted. Let's just call it poach, right? And this guy is going to help add world detail and stuff like that. The Uncharted games are always extremely detailed. Some of my favorite games. I've always said this, and it's pretty interesting at the very least. Shows that 343, they're not static. You may not have heard much from them, but Halo Infinite's going to be kind of like an open world type Halo, and they're doing some different stuff there. So it's pretty.
Yeah. We're going to be able to play a female Master Chief. Yes. Wait.
Excuse me. No.
Oh,
I'll accept Kate in Gears of War, but no female Master Chief.
It's going to be a bizarro world. You're going to have Cortano.
He has like a Hispanic accent.
Okay, Master Chief, we go over there to the cartographer.
So Cortano's gonna be the blue naked guy. Wow.
with a pencil thin mustache. He's like,
Yeah. And he goes in the back of the head of Master Chiefetta, who's the female version of Master Chief. Is this what you're saying, Fonz?
Yeah, pretty much.
I cannot wait to play that version of that game.
Fawn spent a little bit too much time staring at Master Chief's thigh. I mean, Master Chief, yeah, he lost his gains, it looks like. I don't know what's going on there, but
Lost all his gains.
yeah, he lost his Master Chief's been eating too many carrots and shit. So
okay, shout out to Brian Pike out there who keeps spamming 49ers will win the Super Bowl. Bro, we got it. Okay, cool. Move on.
Jeez.
I'm sure it's a podcast for you, Brian. The 49ers will win the Super Bowl podcast.
I think ESPN has their own podcast, different channel, bud.
Oh, he's like, why aren't you fuckers talking about sports? He's on the right. Thinks he's on ESPN.
Talk about Madden.
Actually, speaking of Madden, from those that played on E3 floor, they said it was really good. It's a big improvement over the previous years, not just like little intricate things like the graphics. Like it's a big overhaul. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's Steelers way of saying I don't care.
Angel in the super chat says a game that really went under the radar is Vigor. And he also wants to know, and we answered this last week, I think, or maybe the week before. Maybe it was the Darge Knight that sent this one out. But he also wants to know what game genre would you like to see the initiative go on first?
Yeah, we've answered that one.
What was mine? An RPG? I mean,
yeah, RPG is what most of us
everything's
say.
an RPG these days. Rand, what do you think?
A real one.
Well, since I didn't get Splinter Cell, I would love for them to take on a stealth genre. So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like, I don't know, third person. We don't get stealth games anymore, dealer. Just let me have this one. Have the initiative make, I don't know, a stealth game of some kind. That's what I want.
Tenchu, right, Fonz?
Yeah.
I've Tenchu.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I do want to cover Xbox Scarlet real quick. I'm sure everyone saw the video I did on it already, but basically, this name was leaked thanks to an insider. He says that they're shooting for 2020. He says there may be more than one SKU of this box. If you want to know my personal theories and stuff, just check out my video about it. I did about a week ago. And this is supposed to be next generation hardware, apparently. I don't know. Rand, did you do a video on this at all?
Kind of, but you went more in depth than I did.
I don't even remember what I said. I'm so dead right now. Shady, what are your hopes for Scarlet?
Your hopes and dreams.
I just hope it's a goddamn monster at an affordable price. Simple as that. And I'm also going to put out a early, bold prediction. And I think they're going to add red, actually, to the color scheme of Xbox myself.
Oh.
Really? So you think they're just going to change everything and go red?
Not change everything. I think it's just going to be another color that they use.
What about like the glowing Xbox light?
Maybe if you get the newest system, it'll be red. I don't know. I'm putting it out there. I think red is coming. It's going to be added to the already used colors of green, white, black.
Bro, if you get this right, I'm going to fucking have you assassinated.
Jeez.
Wow.
Because you already guessed right on Battletoads because you lucked your asshole off.
No, I knew.
No,
I
you
knew.
lucked out.
I saw the signs, babies. I'm like, ultra.
Yeah, okay. And now if they use red randomly for Xbox, then I'm going to find out who Shady is and be like, bro, I know you.
Red won't work in the living room. So
it's coming. It's coming.
Maybe
Microsoft's going the way of like Apple aesthetics. They're going for simple, clean. It's kind of hard to assume what the Scarlet will look like because we tried to assume what the Scorpio would look like, and it has such simplicity.
Wait, Colt, since when did lime green work in the living room, bro?
Yeah.
Who has lime green? The Minecraft one?
No, I'm just saying.
$4 I got. It works great. So
my lime green pants work in the living room.
Okay.
I think they're gonna have more than one SKU though, because if you break down the way he was talking about it, it looked like he was talking about multiple SKUs. So we might have like an entry level one that's maybe a little bit more oof to it that costs a little bit more, or maybe we'll have one that doesn't have a disk drive or something. I don't know.
Say maybe the one that costs a little more might have more CUDA cores.
Might have some CUDA cores, maybe
maybe a 4K dock added to it.
There we go. It might have that Ryzen trip too, man.
Might have a 60 frames mode.
I think it's gonna have a 60. Actually, you know what? Speaking of 60 frames, I got into a debate with Porter Rock the other day. He's under the impression that next generation games are still going to be stuck at 30 frames per second, and I had to set it straight, man. Like anyone thinking that next generation is going to be stuck at 30 frames per second, like it's not. The reason this generation is because of the awful CPU that we have. Some games will be 30 frames for sure still, but the majority are going to be 60.
Well, let me ask you this real quick before Fonz barfs all over your face. What did you think about Phil's comments about the next generation and what he says that it's going to do? And he specifically references performance.
Exactly. So he's basically saying that, you know, it's mismatched, the CPU and the GPU, and that they can do more with the frames per second next generation. So when you have him saying that, pretty much is a guarantee that, you know, they're looking at 60 frames per second next gen.
But here's my thing, and I'll stick by this. I don't think every game will be 60 frames.
No, but I think it'll be like a 90% of the games will be and 10% won't. I think some games will have 30 frames per second still. I think some games will have a 60 frames per second mode where some games will do 4K 30, maybe 1800p,
the majority
up to 4K 60. But I think the target for next gen is going to be 60. We've been stuck at 30 frames per second with console gaming forever.
I think you're right. I think that most games will have a switch. You know, you're going to have a choice of what you want to play it at.
Well, Phil already said.
But as far as Phil saying that, you know, it kind of strikes me as odd that just 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, he was saying that nobody cared about 60 frames in a way.
Casual doesn't care about 60 frames.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why? What's up with the Switch all of a sudden? You know,
well, he knew that the Scorpio wasn't going to afford 60 frames on most games, so he had to cover.
I think,
and it was the bulk. I don't like the way he did it. He said, "I'm looking at the majority gamers. They don't care about 60 frames." He didn't say it that way, but that's kind of a bull crap. That's a bull crap way to do it.
I think though that he underestimated just how many people out there outcried for.
I agree.
Frames.
And as we did that, I feel like these developers like we've heard about it on Horizon, we've heard about it on Gears, Halo. That even that engine demonstration was 60. They're not going to stray from 60 for sure.
Oh wow! Law 79 says he still doesn't care about 60 frames.
What people don't understand, people don't look at it this way. When a developer makes a game that goes on console, if they think it might hit 60 frames on consoles, but it won't stay there long enough, they don't chance it. They just say, we got to go with the common denominator. We're going to lock it at 30 so the game is stable as possible. You know, they can't say it's going to run at 45 to 60, and you know, most times it'll run higher frame rates. It's not worth it to have the game come out and be reviewed that it's all over the board with performance. It stutters a lot. They can't make that choice, and they can't make that risk on a closed system. They know what the console does, so what they do is they boost up the visuals, they lock it at 30, and that's why the games look like that. But Phil said, we know there was a bottleneck problem with this whole last gen that we're in currently now, and they're making sure that's not the case next year, and I'm sure Sony's doing the same.
And D-Back, Shadow Spade in the chat, taking shots.
What do you say?
you don't even want me to read it, man.
All right. Anyways, that's where I think the Xbox One X is an incredible console, because you got that variable refresh rate mode on it. So the games that do support it and they unlock it, even if it's running at like 46, 47 frames per second, it's going to look a lot more fluid. And of course, you're not going to have any torn frames. It's not going to stutter, you know. So, you know, the X is a great console. And, you know, if you got a TV
about with FreeSync, right?
Yeah. If you got a TV that supports that, you know, that alleviates that problem of getting games stuck at 30 frames per second this generation.
It actually future-proofs if you decide not to buy Xbox Scarlet and the streaming service comes out in 2 or 3 years and it's solid, you know, if you can stream the game at 120 frames per second, if something like that happens that's, you know, cloud powered through the streaming, you can do that on old hardware because the HDMI and will allow you to have the VRR, right? Isn't that kind of what they're thinking?
I don't know what they're. Well, it does kind of future-proof it to a certain degree.
Right, because it's not going to happen this gen.
I don't want to go so far into the future, but just saying, you know, the X, you know, there's a lot of games that are supporting variable refresh rate now. I think Hellblade is one of them. The new Tomb Raider that's coming out supports it. You got to go to the support page. It says what games support it. But the games that do support it, I'm hearing that they run really well. And next week, I'm going to be running my own tests on these games, so I'll find out for myself. But like I'm saying, a game that's running at like 47 frames per second with FreeSync, it's going to look buttery smooth, almost like 60 frames per second.
Do you happen to know the max refresh rate of PSVR? Is it 90 or 120?
For the PSVR, I think it's 120.
Is it? I thought it was 90.
I think it's
Either way.
They can combine. Yeah, because they
look like trash anyway, so they try to get them up and running that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of an expert now at VR. I got so many fucking VR headsets, and I gotta say the PSVR for what it is, it does a pretty good job.
You ever wear all of them at once?
especially if you have a PS4 Pro, then you know it's pretty decent. But I do like the new Windows mixed reality headsets. They're pretty good. But that's it for VR because I know the chat does not like this shit. So.
What I missed? I just woke up.
Hey, all I gotta say is a VR porn. Yeah.
What are you talking about, Rand? Weren't you just like praising a mouse game with the PSVR last year?
A mouse game.
I have no recollection of this.
Cool.
You mean
Yes,
Moss?
yeah.
Moss is amazing, dude. Don't you talk crap about
Okay,
Moss.
but you're over here falling asleep talking about this stuff.
A JD Gamer in the super chat says he just wants to show support. Have a good night. We appreciate it, bro. Thanks.
VR is boring to talk about. It's
VR. I mean, hey, Top Dog loves it. That tells you enough. So I just want to I want to go ahead and say the bottom line is Phil said higher refresh rates. Basically, performance is the number one thing he listed. If you want to know why they may not get to 60 frames, just check out my Scarlet video I did about a week ago. I show some stuff at the beginning of the video as examples of physics that they could utilize, and that's going to really take down the CPU overhead. So maybe they may go that route. They might find a way to work it both ways. They may use blink frame insertion and save CPU overhead and do both. There's a lot of new technologies, and they can go a lot of different ways with it. So just let us know what you guys think in the comments after the show renders. Of course, we're getting the fuck out of here. Got stuff to do. We appreciate you guys chilling with us. That's been our time. We're well past our time, actually. So we're going to let you guys go. We appreciate you guys showing up and doing what you do. You guys are awesome. So we want to start with some outros. Start with Colt Eastwood, man. Where can people find you?
Find me at Colt Eastwood on Xbox, PSN, Twitter, and YouTube. I'll have a video coming out at the end of this week.
Oh, man. And D Batch, where can people find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at D_Batch and on YouTube at DBatch. And I just put up a video yesterday in case you guys missed all the goodness from E3. I did my top 10 gameplay trailers, and it's all gameplay footage. No talking.
No talking. Wow. So the reason people watch you're not even there.
It's, you know what? It's almost an hour of just gameplay footage at 4K 60 frames per second. And you know what? Sometimes people just want to watch videos, man. They just want to watch gameplay. So
you know
I don't really want to talk over that. So
the reason I would click on it is to hear D Batch and what he has to think about each of those things, but that's just me. So
me too.
Me too. Maybe I'll do a follow-up.
We just gotta, I mean, all right. So go check out D Batch. Jay Fonzarelli, brother. Where can people find you?
They can find me at Jay Fonzarelli on Twitter and YouTube. And I just want to say that to the chat, you guys are always awesome. And I have just as much fun typing with you guys in the chat during the show as I do being on the show. And I really mean that. And for you guys listening and not typing and just lurking, go ahead and type, man. Because even if you type me a question or whatnot, I'll answer if I see it. It's fun. It's good to interact with you guys. So thanks.
Yeah, and that's why it's good to follow us on Twitter as well. Like my DMs are open. You ever want to ask me anything or talk, the shit's open. So, and I do that for a reason. Same for the rest of these guys, including Randall Althor. Where can people find you?
Yo, thanks for having me on again, Dealer. They can find me, Randall Thor 19 on YouTube, where I just uploaded a walkthrough of the Xbox Avatar editor, whole 25 minutes. And I ended up with a dude in a dress.
Or did you just let it play out?
I just went through the whole thing and just made a character. And it took 20.
You think, though, that sometimes people just want to watch Avatar video gameplay with nothing on it, no voices, you know?
No, dude, voices are a must. How else are people supposed to, you know?
We poke so much fun at D, but he's such
God damn it.
You got to put the voice in there, man.
Yeah, come on. Have the D Batch voice. Fuck.
Personally, when I'm watching YouTube, when I was watching like gameplay trailers, I didn't want to hear these guys talk. I just wanted to see the video. So, you know, these gameplay trailers, I just structure it like that. 'Cause I just like to see the videos back to back to back to back. I didn't want to hear somebody talking about it. But you know what? In hindsight, maybe in the future, I'll do like an analysis, what my thoughts were on the videos.
Just have you in the bottom right corner doing the sign language at the very least. I mean, come on.
And I wanna thank Colt for helping me out with my thumbnails lately. Because I always bounce like, is this okay? And Colt will be like, Rand, you suck so bad, dude. Change this.
You know what's funny is Rand and I talked for a little bit and kind of got his thumbnails rolling, and he's been sending me stuff, every week, and I'm like, dang, this guy like takes off pretty quick.
Yeah.
And hold on, I got to do a quick PSA. Shadow Spade said, "Where's my diss track about this Black Bond thing?" I don't do that kind of stuff. My channel that I do like these production videos, and they take a lot of time, but like I'm not interested in talking to like some little crumb snatching YouTuber. But Black Bond's like really, he's ticked off because I quote unquote claimed that Cyberpunk came to Microsoft and asked them if they could be on Microsoft's stage, and he thought I was lying. So I said, I'm not going to argue with you because he wanted me to go out and get him all the information. I said, I'm not your errand boy. And he went and did a video and embarrassed himself, put up the actual proof right away, and then he just tried to turn it. But I'm just not interested in that stuff. And
wait, who Bond?
Beaver Bond, I think.
Oh,
yeah. No, but I don't know. It's just like if people who know me, they know like what my focus is. And if I wanted to do like a whole video on that, I think I'd probably just punch myself in the face.
In all honesty, I have no idea why guys make videos of other dudes, what they say on YouTube, and like, and that's like their whole stick. Maybe like once a year if there was something that grinded your gears.
But it's like
all the time. That's all their content is.
Yeah, it's like Colt be lying. Colt's lying. He's misleading everybody. It's like, why would I lie? What do I have to gain about lying about Cyberpunk coming to Microsoft? Like what?
I think when he realized that you linked him where Aaron Greenberg confirmed that Cyberpunk came to Xbox and it wasn't vice versa, he then tried to spin it because you linked a developer quote saying that they go to Xbox for that stuff because it has the more power, and he tried spinning that and saying that because you linked that, you were saying that Cyberpunk was running on an Xbox on the stage, which you never said. You never said Cyberpunk was running on Xbox on the stage, right?
It was two tweets. There was two tweets. He put them on screen, and anybody who read them would have known there was nothing like that. It's like, Colt, but whatever.
Colt, you're above that, man. Just forget about it. Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The grown men bashing each other with video games is ridiculous. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yo, there's something I need to address real fast. You guys ready for this? Barry Morgan says, I made Rand's videos disappear after you bashed Xbox for clicks. No thanks. What? That hurts, bro. That hurts. I don't bash anything for clicks. Come on now.
That's not this channel.
I don't know. Like, I guess you missed it where I said Xbox had the best press conference. The future for Xbox is bright. I guess you made those videos disappear and you didn't see all that other stuff. So,
yeah. And Rand, I want to thank you for coming on the show today as well, because you're an awesome guy. People go follow Rand. He's a good dude. He's him, Colt, all these guys. They don't sit there and lie. Like, you guys want to pretend that these guys are always lying about video games. Like, what would be the fucking... Why would they want to do that? Why do these guys, why do we want to lie? Why do you think we want to lie about video games? It's ridiculous. It's all opinions at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you don't like what we have to say about it, don't come and tune in. Simple as that.
Like I said, everything's always linked in the description of every video, the facts, the sources, and Colt, don't worry about that motherfucker. Don't worry about that motherfucker in his dead channel. Don't worry about that. He hid me from his comments. He blocked me on Twitter. Like, he's a coward. He blocks everyone. It is what it is. So I don't want to talk about any of these trash motherfuckers with dead channels and man drama shit.
Oh, I know who this Barry Morgan guy is. Okay.
You know what? I love them all. I love all of you guys out there. That all of the frauds, all of the good guys, all of you. You guys are all amazing.
I actually do too. I mean, they're like, even Top Dog, like I'm serious, like he actually tunes in, supports us, and he wants to have fun and talk to everyone. It's like, this is all gaming. Hopefully we're all having fun playing. I know that when I get on party chat, we're having laughs, we're talking games, we're excited, and that's really what it's all about. And holy crap, we are going to get just ran over by a Mack truck with games, starting this fall. So just get your pants ready because it's time.
So thank you guys for coming out. If you're still here, the cream of the crop, we appreciate it. If you didn't check out my last video talking about some new stuff with some of the new studios and a show on Ninja Theory's kind of reason as to why they joined Microsoft and all that good stuff, check that out. It'll be linked down below, or just click on the channel and check it out there. Also, check out the Death Stranding FedEx delivery simulator video I did. That was a good time. I knew it wouldn't go very far on this channel because that's not what I do, but everyone that's seen it really liked it because it's ridiculous, stupid humor. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Share that bitch around. It's the only way it's going to get any traction on this channel. So let me know what you think about all that stuff. And on your way out, hit that like button, guys. We got to get the fuck out of here. Good talking to you guys. We're out.
All right, see ya.
Gaming sucks.
Oh, hey, hang on one sec.
Whoa, hey, don't leave.
I forgot. Shady, you're supposed to say something, man. You're over there sleeping.
It's all right, man. I had to choke out whoever the fuck just tried to cut my internet. I'm back. It's all right. You can find me. I am So Shady. Same thing on the Xbox. I'm So Shady at the Sesh Empire on Twitter. Like I said before, don't be a peasant. Sign up and be an agent. Let's go. See you next week.
All right, fellas. See you later.
I signed up twice.